Hey guys, it's Mathis, your global indie author distributor, and I hope that you're having an absolutely awesome Sunday. So, let me do some housekeeping. Remember, I go live on Fridays with Retell Your Story, and then on Sundays with my live lessons. And then, of course, on Wednesdays, I will be posting a video because your girl needs to get back into going to church on Wednesday. Okay. I am also on social media, of course, Facebook and Instagram and YouTube, right? Where you're seeing me on Facebook and YouTube live simultaneously. And also want to let you know I am your what global indie author distributor. So you know I have three books. The first one is Your God's Love Story. The second one is Daddy, You Can Hold My Hand. The third one is Ordinary Princess. All three books can be purchased at Lulu, Barnes and Noble, Books a Million, and Amazon. I almost forgot that. I have four ebooks. So excited about this. The first one is Tolerance No Thanks to Toxic Person, Place, or Situation. The second one is 10 Considerations for Staying Focused, what lets you get more. The third one is The Day It Was All About My Feelings, which is a children's book. And the fourth one that I just dropped at the end of February is called Behind My Eyes, which is another children's story. So your girl is very excited. Check me out. Those are on Amazon Kindle, those ebooks. And so today I'm just continuing on with my series, The Voice, a Message for the Mind, right? So today I'm talking about disappoint someone else before you do yourself, right? And that just simply means when you know something is not right for you, don't jump on board with somebody, right? just just don't do that because it literally it does nothing for you moving forward in life. It does nothing for you um, getting to that place where you know ultimately that you have done exactly what needs to be done for you, right? So there are all kinds of examples that I can use, but I'm going to use myself, right? So when I say don't do something that will disappoint somebody else before you disappoint yourself, it just simply means this. I know that it would be so easy to fall off doing the correct thing or doing the right thing. Now, I could go back to before BC, before Christ, and I could just be mean and nasty. I could just be hateful just because I choose to be and just because I have the right to be. But because I'm in a situation and walking down a road where I want to be a person of influence, a person of expertise, a person that whose life that you can watch and I be your example, I have to now come up higher. I have to now check my thought process, check my attitude, my mood, and understand that what goes on in my head and in my heart is not somebody else's responsibility. It's not your job to make me feel okay today. And I'm telling you, it's not anybody else's job to make your life some easy walk through the park. There are going to be some hard days. There are going to be some testings. There are going to be some trying days. And nobody is required to make you happy. That is nobody else's job but your own. And I heard that and I thought to myself, because even when we get into relationships with people, we just assume that it's all supposed to be smooth sailing and that the rough edges that we have, nobody should look at those. Nobody should touch those. Nobody should try to correct those, right? We just want to be celebrated, which I'm not saying that being celebrated is not a good thing because you definitely need to be in an environment and in a community where you're uplifted, where you have the ability to grow and become a better you. But understand this, that in life, what you give me, I need to be appreciative for because you don't have to step into any place in my life. You don't have to speak positivity in my life. You don't have to encourage me. You don't have to, give me gifts. You don't have to do any of that. So if you do that, I need to be thankful. in which I am. So if you're watching, you support your girl, I appreciate that. Let me tell you, with everything that is in me, it keeps me motivated. It keeps me going. It keeps me dedicated to the course that I feel like God has set me on, right? So a lot of what I'm talking about takes integrity and it just takes honesty. I was just watching Judge Judy earlier, and it is like people just spend their lives working to be dishonest. I really honestly don't understand that dynamic. And when people, talk to me and tell me, well, you are who you say you are, I'm like thinking, well, ain't that the gist of everybody's existence? Because I don't just spew things out to you. I'm definitely trying to live what I'm telling you. Is it easy each and every day? No, but having integrity and being honest is. Because here's the thing, if you ask me, I don't know how else to be but to be honest. Now, if you really don't want an honest answer, please don't approach me. Please don't come to me. Because if you have the ability to get offended every single time somebody says something to you, or every single time somebody doesn't agree with you, well, then you're going to have big, huge problems in life because everybody doesn't love you, everybody doesn't like you, and everybody is not out here to hurt you. And there are truly some people that are just wanting to see you do good, to do well, and having your best interest at heart. And so sometimes those things that they say to you rub you the wrong way, right? But you have to be man or woman enough to say, you know what, let me hear it, let me listen, let me digest it, let me see how this all plays out into the big scheme of things in my life and what I'm trying to do, and then put my big girl panties on, or my big boy pants, and this flow with it, and see how I can change those things. Because even when it comes to um, people giving you positive feedback, sometimes it's not received because you may not see that in yourself. Now, I know for me, I'm trying to build a community. Your girl is out here searching for, friends and relationships, and just trying to be more personable, more transparent, and just really give people an idea of who I am. Well, so I ask people, or I don't necessarily ask people, and sometimes I do. Um, what who do you see I am, and what are the strengths that you think I have? And so it keeps coming back to me that I'm like good with talking with people in one-on-one, and I have a good rapport and a good camaraderie with people. I don't necessarily see that because in my mind I'm fighting against so much stuff that just standing in line, I have to catch myself because I'm sure my face gives off this, oh my God, this is wasting my time, and so I have to be very careful about my facial expressions and my body language because it can throw off a I don't want to be bothered mood, and that is definitely not who I am or what I'm trying to put out there. It is just I have a lot of things going on in my head, and it really doesn't have to do with anybody else. It is just really my inability to be sociable sometimes, and how that all plays out for me because like I've said before, it's always I don't know how, you know, what to ask you, what to, have a conversation about. Because I always feel like when there's dead space, I get very uncomfortable and I think I need to feel it. I thought I had that mastered way back in the day where Pam, you don't have to do that. But it's coming back up because now I'm trying to broaden my horizons. I'm trying to create a bigger fan base. I'm trying to be a positive influence, having a seat at the table, having a voice that's being heard. So it takes a little bit more energy. It takes a little bit more really recognizing those places in my life that there are gaps, and really working through those and asking the hard questions of people. I mean, I'm saying I'm getting a lot of good feedback. I don't necessarily know that I see myself in those ways, but I praise God that how people see me is on that positive side, and that I come off that way. Because even in my mind, when I'm thinking, well, I'm not that personable, I don't know what to say, and those kinds of things, I pray that I'm doing well to make you feel comfortable and make you feel like I'm a person that you could talk to and trust, whatever you need to talk to somebody about, because sometimes it's just in somebody listening. It doesn't have a whole bunch to do with them giving you a whole bunch of feedback, but sometimes we all just need to vent, and you need to have a place that's secure and safe. And I pray that you can find that in me, right? So, and that just goes back to my last point. People should be able to trust you and your behavior, even when they're not around you. Because if you tell me something, you need to be able to trust it. I'm gonna hold that and keep that. Now, now, definitely, if I think it's gonna harm you, or I think that you need some bigger help, greater help than I can offer you, yes, and I would definitely more than likely share that with the proper people. Not to just have your business out there, dangling in the wind, because I'm not that kind of person. But I think we all need to have, as my company name suggests, of Hue, where we are able to hear people, that we're able to sit and listen and talk to people, and to be able to give everybody a platform to be heard. I just don't think that I'm for everybody and everybody's not for me. We all understand that, but in the places that you can fit in those places where you can be that anchor and that peace and that joy for somebody, fit in. I mean, because we all need that. I'm not so easily, um, you're not really going to necessarily crack my shell so easily, because I'm very guarded. But when I find a place that I feel safe and I feel heard, well, they probably get a whole bunch of what they don't want to hear, right? But, we all need that. We're all looking for that security. So remember, before you disappoint yourself, disappoint somebody else. And I told you that just simply means that if you know something is not right for you, then don't jump on board. Don't agree, just because it's going to make somebody happy or it's going to make their life easier. What about your own? You have to be able to have integrity and honesty in everything you do, because that is the key for being a trustworthy person that somebody can come talk to you. And I don't know about you, but I want to be an expert in whatever that I'm choosing to do. Now, my main motivation here for what I'm doing is to help people be self encouragers and self motivators. That is my heart. That is my passion, because I think if you can self motivate and self encourage, you can get past a lot of stuff that goes on, because there's so much that my head and my heart wants to try to connect with. It doesn't always play well, but I'm always able to come back to that center. And I want you to be able to do the same thing. And people should be able to trust your behavior and your actions, even out of their sight. Because if I tell you something that is very delicate and true to my heart, I want to be able to know that you can keep it, that I can trust you, and that when the battle comes down, that you're fighting on my side, right? So I want to share Romans 15:1 and 2, because this is where this message comes from. Because I think that this scripture, and I'm reading it from the Message Bible, is just phenomenal, because it actually helps you understand, who you are, what we're put here for. And that is to love people, that is to help those who need our help. Not that we expect anything from it, you know what I'm saying? When we educate people, when we, sit and listen, or when we give them advice, or when we share what we know, it is not to get anything. It is actually to make their life better. And I'm learning, what I call no case. Nobody cares about my stuff. I am here to serve. That is my ultimate goal. That is my stuff. I can take to God and ask him to help me and move me forward. Why? Because I believe him and I trust him and I have faith in my God. And so it doesn't it may equate to, Pam is some rock and she's, all the time okay. I am, to a point. Why? Because I trust him. I just know that what he gives me, he's going to make come to pass. If he gives me a promise, I trust it and I walk in it. So Romans 15:1 and 2 says, from the Message Bible, and this is so good. Those of us who are strong and able in faith need to step in and lend a hand to those who falter, and not just to do what is most convenient for you. Please don't just do what is most convenient for you. Do the hard work. Find out what it is that somebody else needs, right? Strength is for service and not for status. I do what I do not so you can know my name, but because I'm called to do this and I'm able to do this, right? Each one of us needs to look after the good of the people around us, asking ourselves, how can I help? So I'm going to leave you with that. This is PM Mathis, your global indie author distributor. And as always, 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 I want you to what? Be blessed. Okay, guys, I'll talk to you later. Bye.